Hello YouTube, we're back on the Ninja for another video. Leaving the gym right now. Whew. Ooh, Trailblazer SS. So, we're here for another video, to talk about whether or not it is difficult or hard to learn how to ride a motorcycle. I'm pretty sure they live in this parking lot, I'm gonna be honest. They're always here. But yeah, so is riding a motorcycle hard? Personally, yes, for the first like 5 minutes, and then it becomes like just like using your arm or other like body parts. It just becomes like natural. So while in I took the MSF course, I've said it a couple times already in videos, highly recommend, please take it, it's great, but it'll teach you a lot. Nice. I like those 3-ball hitches because they look like balls. But drive pink auto nation. So I was gonna go through some couple things that I thought were hard initially when I was learning how to ride a motorcycle, but have become easier and like normal since riding. So number 1, clutch. And what's it called? In the MSF course, my teacher would always say, clutchy, 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 clutchy. You know, you can take off with just using your clutch. You just gotta figure it out. You gotta feel for it, right? A little throttle, a little clutch, but you can actually cruise with no throttle and just your clutch. Look, just your clutch release, right? And he's right. Took a little bit of learning, but he was right. There's when you're learning a manual car on a motorcycle, there's that little clutch engagement point. Mine's right about here. Oh, it smells like weed. There, right there. Oh, it's kind of hard to describe, but you feel it. You know where it is. Right? You know where it is. You can feel where it is on the throttle. And you just get used to it. That's the best way I can describe it. You just get used to it. You learn, and it becomes natural. Soon, and these are things that, for me, I was hyper fixated on. I was hyper fixated on, you know, instead of focusing solely on the road, now I'm focusing on where my clutch engagement is, right? And those are things that you once you learn, like, you want to learn fast, because there's already a million things on the road that you need to focus on, and focusing on where your clutch engagement point is shouldn't be one of them. Sorry, this whole merge is kind of weird. You gotta be a little darty. But you start learning where the clutch engagement point is, and it becomes natural. That's number one. Don't worry about it. It'll come to you. You're gonna stall the bike. And that rolls us into our segue, which is number two. Stalling. When I first started riding, I was stalling. I'm not gonna lie. We all stall. I was stalling. It's normal. When I get on, I've tried a couple different bikes. All of them are different clutch engagement points. You got to get used to them. Again, once you learn, you shouldn't stall, but it happens. Don't worry about it. Like I stalled on a group ride when I was riding at 1000 SX. I wasn't really embarrassed. Like it happens, right? So it's gonna happen. Don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. It happens. You're gonna learn. If you stall it, just clutch in, hit the switch. She'll start right back up. Just make sure your clutch is in, because if you stall it and it's in first gear and you try to start it again, it's gonna jolt forward. So that's number two that you're gonna get right away. I've only been riding for 3,000 miles, so I'm still technically a beginner, right? And that's why I feel like I can say these things. In minimal amount of miles, you pick them up. Number three is throttle. Every bike's gonna be different, right? So we're in fifth gear right now. So watch my wrist. Off throttle, full off. Off throttle, right? Off throttle right now. That's full off. There's literally maybe 2 inches of actual movement, maybe 3, right? Off throttle, on, off, on. That's lock, right? Every bike's gonna be different. This is a beginner bike. I'm sure if you grab an R6 and you just do that, you're gonna die. Especially if you're a beginner, right? Right? Fourth gear, off, on. I'm still locked on. Right? Every bike's gonna be different. You just got the more powerful the bike is, the more you have to be careful. But the Ninja 400 has a very forgiving throttle. People actually change these out for one off of like an older R3 or R6 or something like that. I don't really know, but I know people change it out for one from those R bikes. Well, like, look, I can just play with it all day. And yes, at lower speeds, and you crank on it like that, yeah, it's gonna move a little bit further, but still, it's very forgiving. Let me try to show you guys at this light right here. Whee! Whee! Pop. So lower speed is touchy, but full throttle off. So you saw when I first gave it some gas, there was a little bit of a hop, but it's like not the end of the world. Not like real hop. It just kind of like pulled me back a little bit. Nothing crazy. Hold the tank with your thighs and just make sure your core is stiff, and just fourth gear. The next thing is, and my teacher, and I see him as like Lightning McQueen, you know, Doc Hudson. They tell you to, you know, turn the opposite way, and it makes no sense in your brain. So if I want to go left, I want to lean left, you'd think you're gonna want to turn the bars this way, right? So you bring this one closer to you and you push this one away from you, right? Because you want to turn. No, you push this one. I'm pushing a force on this one. If there was like a way if there's a way to show you guys, because he kept explaining it, but I'm like, dude, what do you mean? Am I pushing down or am I pushing forward? And it says there's a sweet spot, like right here, right? And you can just push and the bike goes. You push and the bike goes. I wish there was like a pressure like gauge for you guys to see, and just whoop, 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 and the bike just goes where you want it to go. That was kind of hard for me to learn because, you know, instinct is like just want to turn the bars. But no, I mean, at like a lower speed like this, you might turn it a little bit, as you guys can see. Got a little bit of movement, see that? But nothing crazy. Ah, oh, the house is beautiful. Sorry, I admire all these houses every time I go through here because I can't buy one because everything's way too expensive. So that was another thing that you're gonna learn. The next thing is two-finger braking, as you can see. When I started riding, I was honestly using my all four fingers. I don't know if you watched some of my earlier videos, but I was like grabbing the brake like this. And it's kind of sus because sometimes if you actually do it wrong, like look, I can still accelerate and grab the brake. But in a smooth motion, you can go off the brake, fingers, back on, accelerate, off. As you roll off, you roll your fingers onto the brake. If you ever, it's like driving a car. If you ever think something questionable is going to happen, if you're in a very busy area, you're in an area with a lot of pedestrians or car, you can still accelerate, but you can float your fingers over the brake, just in case. Oh, PT Cruisers, I love them. Cruiser! See, my hand's still on the throttle, but I'm coming to a stop, right? These are things, again, you're gonna pick up as you learn, but they'll become easy. Whee. Coming to a stop, boom. Next one, since we're at a stop's perfect, is the waddle. No waddle. Once you learn how to modulate the clutch and the throttle, you'll learn how to like match them up together, right? So you can take off very smoothly. When I started, I was herky-jerky. I was moving it forward and back. Once I actually began riding a lot more and a lot more city, I was able to modulate the throttle. Always be careful for parked cars because they might not see you and they might fling their door open, and you're not a car where you'll dent their door. You're a guy that's gonna smash into their door. But you learn how to modulate the throttle. And doggy. Yeah, you learn to modulate the throttle when you're taking off. You shouldn't have to do the waddle. The only time I honestly do the waddle, I'll be honest, is if I'm backing the bike out of somewhere, which you have to do, or if I'm like on a very, very tight turn, like at like 1 mile an hour, right? Like pulling into a little parking spot, like when I pulled into the gym, there's a lot of gravel in those spots. It's also like very like uneven because the tires dug into the ground. But you should be able to modulate the throttle enough so when you actually do take off, the bike has enough momentum to stay stable as it takes off. See? Perfect. And I kind of made that one a little bit longer so you guys can see. Even with a longer pull, you can take off. But those are the things I struggled with the most when I was riding, and to me they made riding harder. But once you get those things down and you're not hyper focused on, oh my god, I'm coming to a red light, oh shit, I gotta take off correctly. Well, once you take off, you're like, oh, I gotta not waddle. Then once you not waddle, like take all those off your back in terms of focus, and the riding becomes so smooth. You know, people always say like when they ride, you just like forget about everything around you, and that's literally how it is. Whee. So right now, feet down for me, and I'd waddle in reverse, and then I'm waddling as I park the bike. Whoosh. But these are things that first gear, kill the switch, let go of the clutch, stick down. These are things that I found hard to learn when I was riding, but the more I rode, the faster they came to me. I'm actually gonna move this. The more I rode, the faster they came to me, and once I was able to not focus on those things, riding became so serene. Now I can focus on whatever's on my mind, which is why you ride, to enjoy myself, which is another reason why you ride. You know, sometimes when you're driving your car, you might have those days where you like, but you get home, but you're like, how the fuck did I get home? I don't remember the ride. I don't remember the drive. I have those days in the Ninja, but it's good because now I'm not hyper focused on dying or slipping the clutch or hitting the throttle too hard or waddling at a red light or stalling at a red light, because it's kind of scary. You stall and all these cars want to go, but they saw you creep forward, so they give it gas just to hit the brakes. But that's the Ninja. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Keep an eye out for the video that's going to be coming out soon on the bike. Big changes are happening. Thanks for tuning in, people.